All right, welcome everyone to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, happy to be of service for you tonight. And we are excited to talk about the last week, if you will, in our season. That is the Celebration Bowl, pitting the champions of the Mid Atlantic Athletic Conference. Wait, my bad. Mid Eastern Athletic Conference. That would
Right.
be the MEAC
Mhm. There you
against
go. Sorry.
the greatest athletic conference in the
Right.
galaxy, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. As y'all see, I got my little SWAC shirt on there. All right,
Right.
y'all.
When it comes.
And representing tonight with two MEAC graduates, that would be the outstanding owner and founder and editor of Block Band, or was it blockusup.com. See, the Block brothers are messing me up. Block Us
In the
Up Band
block.
Blood.
We in the house.
That's right, right. Block Us Up Band Blog, Ernest Stackhouse, alumni of South Carolina State. What's going on tonight, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm good. Ready for the holidays, brother.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, definitely. After we get the intro, I want to definitely ask you guys what you're doing for Christmas, and we don't want to forget about the owner, founder, and director in the men's chorus, and editor, and the Regal, Rashad Waters. How you doing in this podcast tonight, sir?
What's happening, guys? What's happening? Hopefully, I look a whole lot better today. My camera has been looking terrible for the last couple years, 2 or 3 years that I've been on here. Every time you look at Rashad, it's like, God, his camera looks terrible. So I went out and bought the best camera phone that I could get. 5 doggone cameras.
You look good.
So
You look
if
good.
this doesn't look good, I don't know what to tell y'all, bro. I'm just gonna mail y'all a picture and just have my voice coming in.
There you go. There you go. We give it a little single shot now, but yeah, man, it looks good. I was telling all the listeners at home, I didn't know Rashad had gray strands. Rashad got gray hair. He got gray hair up top. He got a little something in his beard there. A little salt and pepper in his beard. I didn't even recognize. I didn't even know all these years about that, Rashad.
I'm Reed Richards, definitely. You say I got piano. You can see the piano
The
keys back
piano.
here.
And
The
that's a
extra.
trumpet. That's a trumpet. Look at that. That's a trumpet back there. I can see it. That is dope.
Yep.
That's dope. Give him a round of
She's in
applause.
HD
You
now,
know,
man.
back there. It's a trumpet and the piano.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's what's up. That's what's up, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and kick off the show. And yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I know your camera
Well,
kind
I'll
of.
be darned.
Well, let's do the intro. There you are. You back.
There you go.
You
There
back.
you go.
You back. All right, let's go ahead and kick off the intro, and we'll be ready to talk about the Celebration Bowl, and we'll tell you
Let's do
the
it.
bands that we talk about. We're excited to talk about tonight, and furthermore, then we'll let you guys know we're gonna also do a recap show at the end of the year, and that's going to be on January 7th. Okay, so you go ahead and mark that on your calendars. That'll be January 7th, and we'll try to get all 4 people, get Bridget, Rashad, and Ernest on the call that night so we can do the video. We'll just wrap up some stuff. We'll have a good template in place. We'll talk about the undefeated poll.
Welcome to the 90 Degree Show, the sports center for college marching bands where we recap the ultimate battles from this weekend. And now, here's our host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Happy to be of service for you tonight. This is Monday, which is December 17th, and it's Christmas time, and you know how everybody gets this time of year, so we're excited to bring broadcast to you tonight. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. We appreciate all those listening through iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, our website, our blog, or wherever you are on the interwebs. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. Tonight's show is brought to you by Block Band Music and Publishing SAY Marketing and Promotions, blockusup.com, Kevin Peete of Revax Patriots, and Smokee Os Barbecue. That's Thomas Oden of Smokee Os Barbecue. All right. So without further ado, we already kind of introduced our panel tonight, but again, we'll say hello to Rashard Waters. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, bro. Ready to get it on. Let's get it on.
That's outstanding. So speaking about this time of year, Rashard, I know it's Christmas time. Do you have any special plans for the holiday season, sir?
Special plans? Not yet. We'll see. We'll put the plans together and see what happens. No, it will be special, though, but they haven't been planned.
Okay, all right. You probably more than likely going to stay in North Carolina?
Say again?
You probably more than likely going to stay in North Carolina?
Yeah, I'll be here in the Cackalack, as we call it.
All right. That's what's up. That's cool. And our other panelist tonight, Ernest Stackhouse of Block Us Up Band Blog. How you doing tonight, man?
Great, brother, great.
That's outstanding. Any plans that you have coming up for the holiday season?
Yes. I'm actually headed to the Cackalack, man. I'm coming up to South Carolina, spend some time with some family. Actually leave it out on Friday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's actually that's pretty exciting. I know how I was growing up because, my mom was from Charlotte. So we used to make that drive from St. Louis to Charlotte. And at first when I was younger, it was about 13 hours. So we pulled that.
Got 16 hours.
Yeah. Then later on, as we got older, we found if you cut through Nashville, it won't be so bad. But man, I remember going to the Carolinas and driving through Asheville and through the mountains and everything going on there. So that's what's up, y'all. So shout out to all our families. Me, myself, my mother's coming out. So that's what she always does just because it's cold back east. Y'all be dealing with all that coldness. So, my folks pretty much this time of year, they come out here to see me because, it's nice out here and, we have a good time. So my moms will come out and that'll be fun and that'll be all good. So I'm about to say Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all the people. Like I said, we'll be back and we'll be doing a wrap-up show with the undefeated, that list, and we'll dissect that and break that down on January 7th. But before then, we'll be also doing the Chopping It Up. We'll kick that series off, and we'll be kicking off National Signing Day. All right, so stay tuned to the Marching Podcast Network. We're using these Mondays, and these Mondays at 9:30 are working pretty good for us. So we'll definitely keep that consistency so you guys can tune in with us. All right, so tonight we'll be talking about the last matchup of the year, and that is the Celebration Bowl with this year, the champions of the MEAC against the football champions of the SWAC. So this year it was North Carolina A&T, repeat champions. They back from last year, and then Alcorn State. All right, the Braves, and it was a decent band matchup. So we're here to talk about that tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and get some of the bills out of the way, and we'll get that taken care of, and we'll dip right into it. I didn't see a zero, but I saw a halftime, and I also saw the fifth between the two schools. And you guys remember we also had a little bit of predictions. In our last episode, we was like, depending on what we think and what we know, this should happen. So we'll see how well we lined up with the predictions.
It happened.
Yeah, that's a little spoiler there. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and do the first round of commercials. So mute your microphones, and we'll be right back with the 90 Degree Show. We appreciate you listening, and Merry Christmas, y'all. All right, we'll be back.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? ShowTime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, blockusup.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at blockusup.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
Hello, this is Charles Cheese Waters, proud graduate of Rusk College in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and father of the owner of Block Band Music and Publishing. And you're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, we are back. Unmute the microphones, and as you heard from Charles Cheese Waters, as you heard from Dog. What's up, Dog? What's up, Dog? All right, Joe.
Speaking of voices, Joe, that's your wife doing the Block Us Up commercial, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I finally picked that together. I said, wait a second, I know that voice.
Yeah.
Know her from her introductions of you when you what was that introduction?
Chopping it up, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I was really excited because she was able to say it all in English. So, I was really excited. Yeah, I thought that was funny. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and dig right into it. The Celebration Bowl. So we was all excited. Last week we said we wanted... We kind of was thinking that Southern was going to be there or be like the better matchup. But if Alcorn showed up, we felt some type of way about it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Somebody already in the chat room already had like, they done already started talking about Alcorn already. So let's just go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and dig right into it. Ernest, what did you think about halftime at the Celebration Bowl?
Oh, Lord. It was. I don't know if you've been on social media the last day or two, but it's been a mess. It's been a lot of fallout. I'll say that. But A&T, great solid performance. A lot of people seem to think that they didn't, do as much as they usually do during the drill. With Golden Delight and with the theme that they usually have, but I thought they had a solid showing. The music sounded good, the drill looked good. So I mean, what more can you ask for? They were solid on the drill. Of course, the Golden Delight's feature was on point as always, and the rest of the show was entertaining. Man, I enjoyed A&T. I gotta give it up to them for that performance. Alcorn, where should I start? Let's start at the beginning of the drill. It was downhill from the drill, man. Oh, God. I don't know what the drill writer, whoever wrote the drill, and they put these 4 little squads on the outside of the drill, when really what he should have done, he should have took those 4 squads and just put them on the front or the back of the 4 lines that he already had, the 4 ranks that they already had. And then, that would have eliminated all of this drama that they ran into with these squads. But these squads has destroyed the show, man. First of all, the front squad, they started it off. They went to the wrong yard line. They didn't go far enough over. So their drill was just meshing into squads, and it was a mess. and I've actually watched the show from different angles, different views. I watched it from the back. I watched my sister-in-law was there. Shout out to Jan. So she caught it from the front, right from the sideline. And the closer you got, man, the worse it got. you saw people actually. Yeah, you saw other people making mistakes. Like it wasn't just those 4 squads. It was like people not knowing the drill. Like they did not know that show. That was not a well-rehearsed show. I don't know what it is. Maybe they didn't have band practice after Thanksgiving break. I don't know what's going on. And a lot of the kids are out of school already, So maybe that was what happened. They just came back for this performance. Maybe, I don't know.
Somebody real quick, Ernest. Somebody I was looking at. Somebody in one of the groups. I think it was the MEAC SWAC page, and everybody on Facebook has just been dogging Alcorn out. Just they letting them have it. You know what I'm saying? One guy said, now I don't know to his degree, because of course I responded to him, and sometimes when I respond to people, I should probably say, hey man, why did this happen? Or I'll be like, hey man, I want to talk about it on my show, and probably somebody think I'm the police or something like that. Dude was like, they only had 2 days to practice, and they got the information late, and then they said they had all of this stuff to put like the dance routine together late. So it was a lot of excuses now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like Alcorn came with them tools, as they say. Y'all know them tools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they came with it. But dude was saying, I don't know to the validity of it, because and I hope somebody in the chat room could let us know, but it just seemed like once you knew you won the football game, you knew in 2 weeks that you was gonna have a performance, and you was gonna have to man up for our entire conference. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for real. That's what's on the line here. I mean, bragging rights for your whole conference is on the line here.
Right. So I don't know.
You can't use that excuse. No. Everybody. I mean, it's obvious they didn't rehearse well.
Bad,
I mean,
right. It was something not right. Exactly. Right.
Right. Yeah. That was clean and clear to everyone that was in the dome that day. But man. But I was not impressed with Alcorn at all, man. They did better on the dance feature. It got a little better at that point, but I just wasn't feeling the whole show, man. They did something with the love that the audience didn't really get. I understand what they were trying to do, but I don't know if it was the announcers, the timing was off or whatever. That didn't go over well either. It was just a bad show. They would have did better. Like what we used to do when we got to the Heritage Bowl or some kind of big classic at the end of the year. We just took parts of every show and smorgasbord it together and made this one awesome show to recap the whole season.
Right.
So
right.
The show was tight. Everybody.
Right. Or you took Nelson Mandela and had him pick up a balloon with a giant neck and neck. That was even more smorgasbord.
Hey, I'm pre-Mandela.
Right. I'm glad you said that, because I definitely would like to have. How the Rogers brothers, they had a reaction. So they watched the film, and then people said,
I got to see that.
I would love to see an alumni reaction show where they bring in Ernest, and they say, hey, Ernest, how you doing? Let me show you something. And then they go to the clip, and they go to South Carolina State. They had, is that Nelson Mandela himself out there? Did you know Nelson Mandela is a stick man? So I don't know. That would be dope. And just see somebody's face. Because I know if Jackson State did something like that, I would be upset. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen the meme with, what is it? Is it Jordan King? The guy that made Get Out. But the meme where he's sweating? Where he's just sitting there. Sorry, I've been trying to get all off.
No, it's good.
That would definitely be me. No, I can't even front, man. That's meme worthy right there forever. But nah, man. Of course, A&T took halftime, man. It wasn't even close. MEAC all day in halftime. But when and that's the bad part about it, is when you think about the SWAC versus the MEAC, naturally you're going to try to give. I mean, I'm just naturally thinking that most of the MEAC bands is going to take halftime. If Southern would have been there, it would have been a lot closer. But I don't think anyone else in the conference, maybe Prairie View and Alabama A&M, could have fielded a better show than A&T. I don't know. I don't know. So I guess, the stereotype held up. MEAC took halftime.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, man. I'll tell you, man. I mean, that was the thing. I was first, I mean, I don't like to say it. I was Alcorned out that day. I was rooting for Alcorn because I want them to win the football game. First of all, shout out to Christy Walker. Shout out to Dr. Christy Rosa Parks Walker.
Christy, yes.
My bad.
Dr. Walker.
Christy Walker.
Yeah,
Just Captain.
Right.
So I wanted, hopefully, the SWAC to win because, I've been wanting her to, like, take down them memes about A&T being undefeated every year, and don't forget we was undefeated, like all that stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I can't let the SWAC win. We get in there, Bridget too, because Bridget on the side, she was all rooting on the MEAC. I'm like, I got to get both of them. And then they came out there, and the football team, I guess, I mean, they did all right, but I could tell that A&T was just on a roll. You know what I'm saying? That football program, they just on a roll right now. So you know what I'm saying? But when halftime came up, I said, Alcorn, you have to seize this moment. You have to put it on your back and carry us. And, man, let me tell you, when I saw that, first of all, I didn't even see all of the halftime. I just saw all of everybody dogging them. I saw all of the clips of everybody messing up before I even saw the whole video. So I was like, dang, Alcorn. And then the part when you said, like they said, Ernest, they did the love. I think that they were playing a Christmas carol like the Jacksons or something.
They had to have been in violation.
Oh, Rashad. I mean, there was just so many things wrong about it. Because I think all of us can say you all have a coup de grace of your show. Like, you have a climax of your show. Or it's like man, we going to bop this, and this about to go, like, this is about to be with everybody. I think them forming love and rocking side to side they thought that was, like, the best part of their show. And that was just very disappointing because, like you said, Rashad, they were walking that line of trying to get the crowd, like, trying to tug at some heartstrings. Like, it's Christmas music. Yeah. It's like, it's Christmas time. Yeah. We should love each other. We're all friends. Let's rock. Nah, man. Your mentality should be deaf. You should
let's put the guns and the knives away.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, let's do all that. And then we're all one and all. No. You should be going in there, and your announcer should be like, A&T, who in the hell left the gate open? And then, you know what I'm saying? It should be something tight. But I was just disappointed in that. And they messed up a lot. And then when they just did the dancers at the end, let me say, the Golden Girls were good. The Golden Girls, they had a good performance. But then at the end, when the students came out, and they were just doing like how Southern does, and it's like I was like, oh, so and then y'all copying, like, oh, Alcorn, come on, Alcorn. Yeah, man. So I was just, I don't know. I was thinking A&T was gonna have the better performance, but I wanted Alcorn to show up. Like, I wanted it to be like a debate. You know what I'm saying? But it turned out not to be. And then A&T, I thought they had a good show. It tripped out to me, and I'm sure you guys noticed it, but it looked like they had two horizontal company fronts. Like, Rashad, you know how you always talk about, like, the step twos, they always start out like 4 company fronts, and then they just do something. It looked like A&T had 2, like, horizontal fronts, and they just did their animations through their whole drill just like in a horizontal fashion. So it just kept everything box front. Like, everything was to what they were looking through to. So I thought that was cool. I think the only thing about it is that I think it's easier Like I feel like a drill like that is easier. I mean, that's just how I felt. You know what I'm saying?
No. Because when you march in north to south, you get the yard lines. The yard lines will make it easy. When you're marching against the grain, marching east to west, and you're marching backwards, so you don't know where you're going. That's I'm about to say economically. That's exponentially more difficult than doing it the other way. That was hard.
All right, yeah, break me
down.
And
when you're going end zone to end zone, you're doing step twos, and that's easy in itself. Just turn 2 steps after the person in front of you.
Right.
That's really easy. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're messing up, in 8 steps you got to be on that line wherever you are.
Right.
Be on that line. Versus you don't have any lines. Nah, that was hard what A&T did.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Appreciate. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why y'all music majors. Y'all break it down and everything. It just looked, I guess, to me, since I'm just used to, like, the stretch view of it, like where you viewing the whole horizontal side, like portrait view of the animations, where it was up and down. So it was different, but I guess I thought it was easier. But you bring up a good point, Rashad, about having the yard lines for markers. So I thought that was good, and then I think Golden Delight did a good performance, and then they brought out flags. I'm not sure if I've seen that where the dancers dance, and then like they brought flags out. I'm not sure if I saw that, but that was good. And then their dance routine was okay, but I have to say I give them props. Let me say this: I believe that if Southern was there, they would have done a different show.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think so too.
They would have had something a little bit more power packed. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have to give it to them. Their sideline blowdown was tight because they added, like, a visual. So most folks roll to the sideline, and then they come up there, at the sideline. They actually, like, slow march, like, kind of like death march to the sideline. And once they hit the sideline, they started to sway. So it was like a visual effect that I hadn't seen in a sideline blowdown where, like, the lines were meshing, and once they meshed, they swayed, and they played their ending. So I gave them props for that. So I agree with you too, Ernest. I have to give A&T halftime. But it was mostly because Alcorn messed up so much, man. And like I said, I heard so much about their mistakes before I saw the video. I was already like tainted. Like, I could tell I was looking at the reflection of my monitor, and I was, like, mean mugging Alcorn. Before they even got on the field, I was like, hold on, man. Let me calm down, Alcorn.
That didn't have even nothing to do with what you heard.
All right.
You was mean mugging them. As soon as you knew you had an interview, you was mean mugging them.
Probably so. Rashad, man, what did you think about halftime, man?
I'm going to start out with Alcorn State, and let me start out by being a little bit of an apologist for them, okay? First thing I'm going to say is that there's been a big deal made about, like, the girl that's running behind the band, right? But you gotta watch that in context. It actually makes sense in context. What she's doing is she's running across the field because they're bringing out a group of girls to dance. So she's got to get all the way from her spot over there to dance. So it wasn't that she wasn't in place. It was just that she just so happened to be one of the girls, and her line was on the other side of the field. So when you only watch that just with her running to that spot, it makes it look like, oh, she was just completely in the wrong spot. But that's not true. You keep watching the video, you see she's got her hat off, and she immediately goes out to the front and dances with the rest of the band. The second thing is, with them losing a band director, their head band director, it really makes a difference depending on the size of their staff. Like, if you look at a band like A&T has a large staff. They only have a couple people that are actually working for the university. But by God, they probably have 15 people all together with volunteers and things. At Hampton, we had our head band director, our assistant band director. Sometimes we had a percussion instructor, sometimes we didn't, and we had the head of the managers. So when I was in school, if Mr. Smart had gotten let go, we would have been in hell. It just really depends on the staff, as far as that type of thing, So I don't know what type of staff that Alcorn has, but I'm thankful that they're even able to do this. if I was like the assistant band director, I'd have been like, please lose against Southern. Please lose against, y'all won against Southern? Great. We got to perform again. You know what I mean? Like, I've been ready for the season to end so I can go ahead and put everything together. I've been there as a high school band director. You know, there's times where I've done all I can do. This band has done all it can do this year. We need to go ahead and finish up so we can regroup and get ready for next year. And the doggone football team keeps winning.
Right. I've been there.
Come on, bro. You were ready to sabotage some crack cats. But anyway, that being said, now that that's out the way, yeah, as soon as they got on the field, they made that first mistake with 2 people stepping off. Like, what are y'all doing, man?
And then they step back.
Come on, bro. So then they did the step 2 thing, and yeah, Ernest, I agree. Having the 2 squads of trombones, I think it was trombones or both hands, wasn't the most attractive thing. They could have done something better with that, particularly when you got these large lines and you just got 8 people on either side. It could have looked attractive. I didn't really give them a big fit about that, but it could have been better, I think. But when they all got to the yard lines, the sidelines, and they stopped, nothing happened. That was really ineffective for me. Like, it really could have been something where, you know, the band, they were doing step 2s, I believe, and the step 2s collapsed on the line. Yeah. There should have been somebody out there just, you know, just getting it for 8 counts or something. And then, right. There wasn't a reason, unless there wasn't a reason to do that. Either cut the music or do something different. Also, they're still playing She's Fresh. Like, you still, like, this is the 3rd week in a row. Like, he was hyped the first time.
You're right.
Jackson State. Oh, man, she played She Fresh, you know. But she played it against Southern. It's like, okay, that's kind of still fresh a little bit. But now, bro, she's stale.
She's tired.
Yeah. She's tired now, bro. Y'all had 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, come on, y'all. You had 2 weeks to prepare. But granted, again, I forgot that Thanksgiving happened, you know, so the kids are gone, you know, so I get it. You know, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we didn't know about. I really liked the Give Love on Christmas Day thing. I thought it was a very nice touch. I like them making the love and doing that because we never hear Christmas songs. We never get the chance to hear Christmas songs on the field because the season always ends before Christmas time comes. So, you know, Give Love on Christmas Day, I thought it was good. And I wish they had gone to the, what is the other part? What is the B part of that? It's on a Christmas Day. Why don't you? Dang it. There's a B section to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very short. And then you go on to the next part of the song. Gosh, how's it go? I can't remember. I'm going to remember when we talk about A&T, right in the middle of Golden Delight. Start singing Christmas Give Love. I thought it was cool, though. I disagree with you guys. I did not enjoy the GG's performance. I thought it was low in energy. The videotape I watched was from the back, so I really couldn't hear it. I can't judge the band as well as far as how they were playing. I mean, it seemed like they had energy. I just thought the GG's didn't really have a lot of energy to me. And I'll say this over and over again. I'm never a fan of the fact that they gush so many times in their show. Like, that's just what they do. I know Bridget loves them, but they're going to gush at least 4 or 5 times every dance routine, every single one. Ever since I've been watching them since the 90s, they're gonna do that.
14K2.
It's cool to do that.
Dances do the same thing.
It's cool to do that 1 or 2 times, but if every routine, you know, here's my move, and then drop down and do that right there. Come on, bro. How about can we just put
on the low? I kind of like that though.
Yes, I would. Part of me does enjoy that. The part of me that is supposed to be analytical about bands, supposed to be analytical, I enjoy that. I just want to. There are here.
Well, you know, that's tradition too, Rashad. Like, because you know, back in the day, and especially when I've noticed over the last couple of years, the Golden Girls are a lot more slimmer now. They're like a lot more in shape. But back in the 90s, they were a whole lot thicker. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't move like it's and it's like, you know, the dancing dolls like Jay Sets and all that popping. So they was kind of, you know, bop, 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 you know what I'm saying? They was doing their thing. So I think that's a little bit more of the tradition still there a little bit, where their girls aren't the same like that, but they're still kind of doing the same dances, kind of sort of, you know, tradition.
But this show goes a dark place anytime Bridget's not on here. I'm just saying.
She be mad too.
Yeah. You gotta get these women back on this show, bro. You gotta get the women back on that. The dance routine, the girls coming up and doing their little dance routine, I thought that was pretty cool. The camera didn't stay on very long. The guys just looked a hot mess to me. And I was so disappointed. Like, you brought up, I watched A&T's show first, and it was just so disappointing to see A&T's whole band getting it. And then here you are with like 10 people on the field and marching off the field. It's just, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me, man. Like, if you're going to bring them out, I don't like that type of stuff. But if you're going to bring them out, that's fine. But after they do their thing, let the whole band dance. Let the whole band get it. You know what I mean? I mean, more is better. So that's Alcorn. Let me go ahead and get into A&T. I thought their opening set could have been more powerful and attention getting. Like, their show just kind of started. It was like, but it's like 1, 2, ready, and like it didn't just boom. But them moving from the west and east facing yard lines formations to the north and south, you know, seeing that visually and then doing the company fronts across the field. Visually, it was very interesting and it got your attention. And then they almost immediately went into the 100, which I thought was cool. Which, what is that? Is that A&T 100 years old or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. That looked horrible. That 100 looked horrible. Those 2 zeros looked horrible, A&T. I finally got I can say something bad about it. That looked horrible. Rashad, I'm glad you said that. And Rashad, let me bring up something else that you made me think about. That is a really good point about how their show just started. Y'all remember last year they started with We Are the Champions? Or was that? Was that the Honda that they did that? I think that was the Honda that they did it because they won the Celebration Bowl and then they went to the Honda. That was one of the best intros that I saw because, like you just said, they grabbed your attention first to say, "Hey, we the champions," you know what I'm saying? But so before you about to see anything else, we won everything. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't grab us. They didn't grab us like that today at all. There was no like, "Hey, we the defending champ." Like there was no. They just, like you said, they just started out. So I was just saying that was a really good point.
All season they've been using this kind of build up type intro where you know it was real dramatic, the intro all season. Most of their shows this season, and this time they just like Rashard said, it's kind of this up to you know. So right could be the difference.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So to shout out to people in the chat room, they said that the band program. Wow, the band program is 100 years old. So shout out to the band program.
Okay.
Man, just if we get the drill of that 100 down, that'll be dope. then we would have got the point then. But I digress. Go ahead, Rashad.
The band program is 100 years old. The drill is a week old. Yeah. The only other thing I have to say about that is what the world needs is love.
No.
What the world needs is love. I'm singing during the show. I mean, obviously a violation.
Right.
I was racking my brain while y'all were talking to figure out what that part was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think
that part would have been dope.
Right. You can put your drum fills and stuff in there. Yeah. I didn't think the 100 was horrible. I thought it was very shaky, and they need to work on that. But it definitely got the point across. Like you could tell that the crowd like really like, oh, that's cool. Particularly again, normally that's like at the middle of your drill. It's like the presentation of this, and went in it with probably within like first 20 seconds of their show, you know, which was cool. I thought maybe even less than that. Let me see here. I think it was like 11, an 11th in one of those chords. That's a pretty interesting note that's in there. It's a really dissonant type of mellophone note, but it's really cool. They went from there and they started playing. That song is called Evolution Orange, by the way. It's by Earth, Wind and Fire. It's a song that you've never heard of. I just so happened to know the arranger there, and I was like, oh, that's okay. He wrote that song years ago for them, so like, oh, okay, that's that song. They went from there and they're playing the Backstabbers. Let me tell you that Backstabbers is a tough song to transition to right there, and the reason for that is Backstabbers, which is right. It starts with a whole note with no percussion accompaniment, which means that it's very tough to tell how long that note is supposed to be, particularly if you're transitioning to it. Like if the tempo has been set, then you know. But you were transitioning from one song to the next. The tempo is kind of shaky right there. The band is really spread out. So the length of that note is questionable. If you listen to it, people are kind of cut off at different times. Like it's real shaky right there until the percussion section comes back in. I wouldn't recommend that, or I would recommend either change the tuba part so you still have a pulse, or make sure the cymbals or somebody are still providing that pulse in the middle of that. I thought A&T's drill was great. They did some really cool things. Again, they were pretty much doing the step twos, but doing them front to back like that, and they look good. And then it's the little things, like when they would do the what do you call it? When you flip, we'll call it a gate turn because that's what some people call it. When they would do that, and then they would stop right on the 7th count and go back, and it's just a little. If you watch their feet, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom. And if you watch their feet, you can do this. It's very good. Like you can tell they spent a lot of time working on that type of stuff. And then just again trying to get marching backwards and getting in a straight line again. That is not easy to do. And there was one place where like one whole part of the squad was off. There was ahead a little bit too much, but other than that, I thought they executed very well. I think A&T still needs to work on their marching overall. They still do this thing where they're kind of like halving it until they get to their spot. Then once they get to their spot, like, hey, look at me march. But until then, they're not really marching. They still need to work on that. Again, watch Norfolk State for that, because they do a fantastic job of still marching, even though they're getting to their spot. Even though they're sliding to the right or left, they're still marching very hard. So, but I thought the drill was great. It was very exciting for me to watch. Let me see here. However, the only thing was that they played Backstabbers, right? And they made the A&T formation. The music and I'm sorry, the A. The music, no, it is A and T. The music and the drill did not fit right there. Like the climax of the song is "They smile in your face," right? That's the climax. And then so they made the A, and then they said "The smile in your face."
Yeah,
like,
I noticed that.
Those two things should have happened simultaneously. The only thing about that, though, is that maybe they didn't want to send the message that A&T is going to backstab you. You're like, who's going to backstab you? The A, the smile in your face. Like, maybe about that. And the announcer didn't even announce it. Like, they made the A, and then the crowd started to understand what it was. And then the announcer's like, oh, yeah, it's an A. Ladies and gentlemen. Like, normally he says, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, what you've been waiting on. He didn't do that this time.
Rashad, I wanted to say one thing I kind of noticed about that is that it just didn't look good. That A&T looked just as bad as that 100 did, to be honest with you.
I agree with that. That A&T was kind of shaky this time.
So I was like, wow, that's really, I noticed exactly what you said about like the timing, because we talked about that this year with like making sure the colors and the music lines up with the arrangements and all that stuff. But
and the announcer.
Right, and the announcer. But it didn't come together there. It was all together. It was off in all of those parts.
Exactly. If you listen to the end of Backstabbers very carefully, you're hearing the mellophones, which is which is This Is America. So if you remember that they played Backstabbers as a part of the This Is America show. So that tag is still in that song.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, that's right.
Let me see here. So let's go from there into Golden Delight. Cold Hearted Snake. That was interesting. They played it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
If you're from North Carolina, you know that years ago, A&T was famous for playing Cold Hearted Snake. Like, you couldn't be a band director in North Carolina and be black and not teach your band Cold Hearted Snake. Like, you'd have to, like, I didn't want to. I didn't. And I had to fight my band. Like, Cold Hearted Snake? I mean, no, you're not playing. That's every band plays. The Cold A&T was famous for it. So it's interesting that they did a completely different arrangement. They
did.
I wasn't really feeling the mellophones. The mellophones come in an octave higher than the low brass, and they didn't punch like they should have. They were just kind of, oh, there's an octave. Okay, that's cool. You got octaves. Like, if you're going to be an octave higher, come on, mellophones, do your deal there. But A&T's tubas have come a long way, man. I used to get on their tubas all the time. And they are really providing some great full bottom all throughout this whole show. Great baritones and the counter melodies. I love Golden Delight coming out there with the flags. First of all, their dancing was really good. Then they brought the flags. I was like, wow, that's cool. I loved how y'all did that. However, same thing with the A&T. It could have been better as far as when they placed it. They brought out the flags when the band was doing bop, 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 and the upper winds was like, and then they brought the flags. Musically, it didn't fit. It should have been, however Cold Hearted Snake goes. I'm thinking Backstabbers in my mind. But they went back to the chorus. That's when I wanted to see the flags right there, so they just need to time some things better for full impact. The outstanding that they did was actually the low part of their show. It sounded good. Marching was good, but everything else was driving. And it was just, outstanding. But maybe it's a chance for them to, recuperate. But doggone it, man, if they didn't hit that dance routine, that's probably one of the best times I've seen A&T dance. They really put the exclamation mark on the end of that dance routine. And that second song they played was like the tubas against the whole band. Tubas are sounding great. And then they did this, I don't know, YouTube player, right?
Yep, yes, sir.
They did this like, ba da 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 ba da da, and when the tubas had the thing, it was like, ba da ba ba ba. Like, it's a one little lick in there one time where the tubas go do a nice little 16th note run or something like that. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Then they did their coming off the field there, and that was cool. And then, they started dancing a little bit at the end. Honestly, guys, this wasn't even a competition. Like, A&T was competing against themselves. Like, everything I'm saying is how A&T can get better as a band in general, regardless of Alcorn State. Alcorn State wasn't even there. And I will say, I think that show still would have beat Southern. I think it would have, because the reason I said that, number one, they kept that, they drilled very well over, except for the 100 and the A, the formations that they made, they drilled very well as far as the step 2 type of stuff was concerned. But unlike Southern, they kept your sound facing you the entire time. And that makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference. There was not one time where you lost that sound from A&T. Then Golden Delight did their thing. That was high energy, and then their dance team was really good. I think that show definitely would have killed anything I've seen from Southern this year. So definitely, A&T gets the win.
I agree with that, but some parts of that. But with Southern is a unique band. Like, they're like one of the only bands from the SWAC. It's like maybe 2 or 3 of them that I think really does that end zone to end zone marching well. And they have the brass to carry that sound so that you don't really miss it when they're not facing the press box so often. They got like 64 trumpets. So it's like, you can hear the parts, as they're moving down the field, and that sound is so full that when Southern does it, like, I still enjoy it, and I'm a press box guy. All my bands have always performed to the press box, but I do enjoy it when I see Southern do it, and just like how you pointed out those mistakes in A&T's show, if Southern was there, you wouldn't have seen any mistakes in the drill at all.
They would have played up.
So
they would have played up for Southern now.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. And Southern wouldn't have had any mistakes. Southern would have been perfect. The kaleidoscope formations, all the stuff they do. It would have been perfect. And for a game like that, they probably would have put the halftime on the field. That would have tore it off.
Halftime. I'm telling you, halftime or the star drill. Them two right there, that would have beat A&T's show.
The halftime of the what drill?
The halftime score, like if they put up the halftime score, I think that would have done better. And also the star drill, that was my favorite star drill.
Yeah.
Where they do.
But we ain't seen the halftime score in years. So
you're right. You're right about that.
Well, that's what I was saying, Rashad.
It's a great memory. It was great when it happened.
You know what? Has a Hamer band ever done the halftime show? I know Jackson did it when he was a band director at Southern, but I'm trying to think after Greg's, did anybody else do it other than Jackson?
I don't think so. Because I think it's just a matter of the numbers. I just think the band is so much bigger that you have to worry about. Now they can make the halftime score and what quarter it is and who has possession. When the that out,
But no,
down, they can do the downs and everything.
But what I was saying, Rashad, I do want to reiterate that what you said was that's what you've seen from Southern this year, and I think that was what's important, right? Because immediately I was trying to think of something that they did this year, and all of them, even though they executed good and the precision was there, beating that show that we just saw from A&T. I had to think about. I went into Southern's arsenal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much of what we seen this year. And yeah, I don't necessarily trip off facing home. I myself prefer it. But if you loud and you don't need to do it, then you know what I'm saying. You don't necessarily need to do it.
Right.
But I still. Thing that always will get me about A&T is just the hybrid style, man. I just love seeing it, man. Like when they just march SWAC style or high step style and then right into like the core. I just love seeing that. So that's always gonna be tough for me to beat. But yeah, it would have to be one of them dope super drills, like that star drill. Like that's like my favorite drill. I think that's what would have beat them. But like what you said, I agree with Ernest. We wouldn't have seen that. Like that show we saw A&T, that was for all more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The second Southern, like, oh, Southern's coming. They would have drilled up.
We would have saw This Is America or something.
Yeah, they would have came with something. They would have did something. So,
nah, I don't think so. The only difference I think the A&T might have made was that they might have used cold steel. I think that was the only change that they would have made. Because why wouldn't they have made the 100? I mean, that was the top of their show, was making the 100. And they definitely would have made the A on the field, and they definitely would have still done, I think they still would have done those formations. The only thing they might have done differently was try to start more powerfully. But other than that, adding cold steel to it would have been it. I mean, because the dancer team was great. Golden Delight was great. The drill, minus some mistakes, was great. So I don't know what they could have done to make that show better other than add cold steel to it.
Adding cold steel sounds like fear. That smells like fear a little bit. If you
why is that? When they use cold steel all the time.
Well, for a battle of the bands with like multiple people, that's different. But do not.
They use cold steel all the time.
but against
it could be
another,
it could be kind of gimmicky.
Major program. Don't be throwing don't give me a sectional battle when you are facing one of the premier programs in the country. You know what I'm saying? Come with it. Do not.
So you say if you're facing off one of the bands that has a huge weakness against you, don't exploit that weakness. Basically, if their weakness is their drum line can't play paradiddles. I made some enemies now, and your drum line is one of the best.
You made some enemies
in the nation. Southern? Yeah, I'm gonna exploit the hell out of that.
I was thinking about.
I don't lost some customers. I lost some.
No, I wasn't thinking matchup drumline for drumline. I'm just thinking like You then want to feature your drum section. Oh, maybe for the Battle of the Bands, but not. I don't want to see A&T, and I don't want to see two programs throwing out like sideline riffs, sectional riffs. Do that after the game or on the bus in the parking lot. Southern A&T, don't throw that out there.
But see, that's because you're stuck in the mindset of what you've had around you. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in a place where I guess here in the MEAC, we're more influenced by the core style bands. So that's not something unusual at all. And so it's not unusual at all to have drum lines. However, I will say that really Prairie View started that when it comes to show style bands. It wasn't uncommon to see core styles bands do that, but we really got the idea from doing that from Prairie View, you know. And Prairie View is going to use their drum line. I don't know what they do now, but in the past, they use a drum line every single show, and then regardless of who they were facing.
Yeah, and it don't make it right. I'm just saying. A&T, I would have been upset if they put Cold Steel in their show. That's just me. Because I don't want to see Cold Steel. I want to see the blue and gold marching machine for the full time. Don't throw, like you said, don't throw the paradiddles out there. I don't want to see that. And if you need to sling somebody around on your shoulders, you're walking the line. Because it's okay.
You're walking that line, huh?
Right.
You're on that line.
It's okay. It's a whole bunch of people. But you going against or if you're going against the boom or somebody, play us out the stadium. Let me hear your notes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Blow us away.
Right. Don't let them do that. But then let's have Southern bring out the token white boy or the token fat person or the token fight girl.
No, that's different. Let them do that. No, you're right. Now, see, if Southern went there, then Southern will be walking that line. Because then that would be like, what y'all doing that against A&T for? Are y'all scared of A&T? Why you got to be doing it? So you have a point there. But I'm saying, come with it. No shortcuts. This is supposed to be the championship. So yeah, to me, adding Cold Steel would have, I don't know, that would have made me feel some type of way about it. Real quick, some folks in the chat room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Give y'all some love. So brother A1 Story. And Donald Donaldson. Let me clear this up. I didn't say that let me see. I didn't say the Golden Girls was slimmer. Well, I might have said they were slimmer, but I'm just saying compared to back in the 90s, they were like super thick compared to what I saw now. Yeah, I mean, good grief. What Drake say about the BBW girls? Is that everybody make everybody uncomfortable? I mean, that's how it was like that. So that's what I mean by that. Other than that, everybody in the chat room is, for the most part, agreeing with us. Shout out to Charles Connor. I think he's a band director. I didn't know. I sound like he went to he went to A&T. Okay, yeah, it looked like it. And shout out to brother Raymond Key, Donald Donaldson, and it looked like Garrett is up in there. Happy birthday, Garrett! I saw it up there. He had put on Facebook. He said he was 29. I said, good Lord, I know I'm getting old. He said he was 29. I thought Garrett was like 30-something. I was like, oh, man, we must be getting up there, man.
Happy birthday to that dude. That dude is always bringing us the best content when it comes to the human jukebox. We definitely appreciate you there, brother. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody in there that's supporting the craft and listens to the show and everything. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely interesting chats, interesting, funny things to say in there. So if you guys are listening, you go ahead and join the chat room. Say what's up to everybody in there. All right, everybody. Anybody else? Anything else about halftime that you guys wanted to add before we go to the next commercial break?
I want to add one thing.
Okay.
To me, Johnson C. Smith owned a Cold-Hearted Snake in the 90s. That was Johnson C. Smith's song, not A&T.
Double IOS. Shout out to you, Brother Gray. Mr. Gray. You heard that? You know what I'm saying? Now, how it sounded, we ain't necessarily tripping about that, but we just say that was
right.
It was that was Smith's song regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Boy,
that was their go-to, boy.
Man, boy, that and the band dance. Boy, I'm talking about no John C. Smith, man. I'm telling you, man. All right, y'all. Rashad, anything to add about halftime before we go to the fifth?
I don't know, man. I'm still thinking about this thing that you talk about. Cause I'm going back and forth between battles. Like I'm thinking about like when Hampton played Southern, and like I'll just be honest, I'm not going to even hold back. We had one of the most hellified trombone sections in the nation back in the 90s. And so our band director chose to feature us against Southern, that year. But it didn't have anything to do with us being scared. We were just good. And so he put us up front. But to me, that's okay. But when I think about Southern playing South Carolina State, I think that was 98. And then bringing out the boys and singing Boys to Men. Matter of fact, earlier that they played Reasons and brought out a guy doing Reasons. To me, that's the stuff when you're stepping out the line. But when you have a section, the actual section in your band doing what they do, and you just choose to put them in front of your band, to me, that's just bandsmanship. But when you singing, like you said, that's when you off. That's when you out. You know what I mean? That's when you catch a hill. But matter of fact, Southern came back. Here's the thing. Southern came back the very next year and played Doing It to Death and brought the trombone section out. Let me just point out that they started the song in F minor, but then when the trombones went to do their solo, the song modulated. Let's go down. So the highest note you're gonna play is an A natural instead of a C. Nah, bro.
Right.
I don't have no problems with you bringing out any type of section and let them do their thing.
That's a tough one because what you said, it sounds good, but we have to be aware of this fear factor, Rashad. I mean, okay, so this is the thing. Now Southern is about to show up. Now Southern is not going to single out their drum section. And like you said, you already know that Southern is slack as far as, we coasted, we know we better than y'all. So why in the hell are you wasting our time with it? Don't put it out there. You already know you're better. Okay, so are you trying to beat us over the head with it? Because it sounds like you're trying to take away from the rest of the band cranking on you a little bit. That's what it sounds like. It's like, hey,
you play to your strengths. And that's the whole thing. That's what I was talking about when it comes. I meant to say this too. When y'all was saying you're not against Southern placing the playing to the sidelines. I'm not either. All I'm saying though is that Southern has the clear advantage when it comes to sound. Clearly, if they open up and they just stay and they face home the whole time, it's done. But because they're not going to do that, they're losing that, which then allows A&T to be able to still be in the game when it comes to the drill. You have to play to your strengths. You don't go in there. If you're a fighter and somebody's bigger than you, and you just say, I don't want to be a punk, so I'm gonna go pound to pound. No, dog, no. You're gonna go up there and you're gonna do what it takes to win. You're gonna be faster. You're gonna be quicker. Yeah. So if A&T is not nearly as loud, but they've got a drum line that's much, much better, ain't nothing that's not, and there's music. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's called strategic thinking right there. They got a better dance squad, at least when it comes to being more versatile. When it comes to being more versatile, Dance Dolls are great. But when it comes to being more versatile, they have a better dance squad they're going to feature them. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
You are 100% right. But what I'm saying, there's a line. There's a little bit. So just like you talk about the fighter who's smaller, he going to stick and move. He's got to be strategic. But there's that fear. Let me slip this much and I am getting knocked out. And that's where you then try to, I think that you should match the person for what they're doing. Because there's only so much where it's a fear factor where, like, I'm sticking and moving. I can only do so much running before I man up and face this beast in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Southern is going to be cranking on you. You need to then play a march or play something that is going to deafen and show
We're talking about halftime.
Something to show your superior musicality. I guess that's
right.
What I'm
like
saying.
Bring out your drum line who has superior musicality.
Drum line and musicality? I don't know how musical like beating on something is. I'm sure it is, but I'm talking about the band. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about.
We was pissing all kind of people off.
I'm just saying. It's a good discussion. I'm just saying that to me, I already know Cold Steel is dope. Please show me something super, super dope from your band. Was Cold Steel in that This Is America show? Did they feature Cold Steel in This Is America show?
I think they did. I think they did.
I need
to look back because I can't remember. I can't remember if they did or they did something with the dance. Like they featured the dance. Like they did the dance portion of.
They definitely did it. I want to say that they did because they didn't have an opponent, and so when A&T doesn't have an opponent, they're going to do a long show. So I feel like they would have done that. And also, I know that we've talked 2 or 3 times about A&T and about how the drumline matches up with some of the stuff that's happening musically. I know I've commented on that a couple of times, so I feel like that was probably like the 2nd or 3rd time of the year that I talked about that.
Well, I hope so, because if that was part of This Is America show, that takes some of the fear factor out of it for me. You know what I'm saying? But I need to double check and make sure, because if you got a dope show like This America and you didn't feature Cold Steel, I don't know. I don't know. But you make some good points, Rashad.
What does it matter? What does it matter if a band is afraid or not? Doesn't it matter if they win? There might be a whole bunch of fights I have in life where I'm fighting people that I'm scared of. But if I knock their butt on the ground at the end of the fight, then what does it matter that I may have been scared starting out?
I guess it's just a SWAC mentality where the SWAC people, they ain't scared. We ain't never scared. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never, it's not a point where I'm like, I'm scared.
Y'all ain't never scared, but you don't have no good halftime shows.
Oh,
you might want to get scared a little bit.
Don't judge us on Alcorn, man. Don't judge us on Alcorn. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge us on that, because we know we can reach in the swag bag and roll out a little something. You know what I'm saying? But that's a different conversation.
Wow.
But you do have, I don't know. I just somewhere deep in me is like, A&T, man, just come with it. Like, you don't need to have no other. And to me, that's like a battle. Cold Steel is like a battle of the bands type of thing. It's not as interpersonal. It's not as intimate. You know what I'm saying? As a competition. That's just,
well, you know what? To me, Cold Steel is not even A&T's secret weapon. It's Golden Delight. So it's like that's not what they would use to get over on Southern. They would use Golden Delight to get over on Southern, and they would do it throughout the whole performance. You know, little flashes here and there of color and style and grace that just takes the audience, you know, to another level. That's how they would get over on Southern. It'll be more of an emotional experience as opposed to a halftime show.
And that's what I got from the
that features some dances.
And that's what I got from the This Is America show. Exactly that, Golden Delight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point too. We're probably saying the same thing. I don't know. I just wish Southern would have been there, because I was already feeling some type of way, like, but I was rooting on Alcorn, man. I really was. But they just, the intro to how they start out.
Me too. It disappointed me. I personally didn't know they were going through all that with their band director and all that. I didn't know that in advance, but that kind of explains a lot, you know. Because they had a solid couple of years. Last 3-4 years for Alcorn have been really solid. So this surprised me. This whole performance was very disappointing.
Yeah. A lot of good things going on in the chat room. Shout out to the chat room folks again. But yeah, I think for the most part, we all agree A&T got the halftime show. And,
I'm sorry, Joe. What's funny about that is that we're arguing about who would win between Southern and A&T.
Damn it, Alcorn. I'm so disappointed in you. I'm just upset.
Oh, man.
I was rooting on them though, man. I'm telling you. And in the football, I don't know if you guys saw the football team. They could have gone for 2. That was a tough decision too, man.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, that was a tough. And I didn't know Steve McNair's brother was the coach, Fred McNair. I didn't know his brother was the coach there. And And I did remember they said that he played for Alcorn, but yeah, I didn't know Steve McNair's brother was the coach. So shout out to him, and all the beautiful SWAC folks and all the beautiful MEAC folks that showed up. I do want. Well, I'm gonna wait to the end, cause did you guys get a chance to watch the game on ABC? Did you guys see some of that? Well, right quick, I do want to talk about it. And for all the people in the chat room, please let me know your opinion. I'm excited when we get our HBCU spotlight and when we get our platform and stuff. But when it's like cheesy, I be like, So they had this dude going around and he was like the sideline attendant. So I don't know how you guys feel about Jay Walker. Jay Walker is like the HBCU face for ESPN. So anytime ESPN, Jay Walker comes in there and he says something, he's all right, but it's like they're trying their best, and I guess that's what they're supposed to do. They're trying their best to show everybody in that small window of the game the entire HBCU experience. And what they were really focusing on was the Divine Nine, the frats and sororities and stuff. And so then they had a guy going around. Like, hey, these are all the presidents from and this is the Divine Nine. These are the fraternities and sororities at black colleges, everyone. And I was like, okay. So I kind of knew that, but it's just like, I don't know. I kind of wish they did more, maybe telling about each individual school, or maybe they could have talked about the Freedmen's Bureau or how black colleges got there, telling more of the history. I didn't necessarily want to hear so much about the Greek, because that was like, it was like they were trying to show the HBCU experience, but it's much more about Greek. It's not only about Greek life at black schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wish they could have did much more of the historical, like, research, or much more of the telling part to educate folks about black colleges and where they came from. Each thing
they used to do that. Like NBC used to do a good spotlight on all the colleges when they would have like a classic on their channels back in the day. They would have a history of each university, doing the commercial breaks, and they'd be talking about the programs that are, and the Rhodes Scholars that attend the universities and all this good stuff. But yeah, that just talking about the BLGOs, and that kind of is a narrow window into what HBCUs are.
Right. So then the first section got talked about it, but then all throughout the game, they then highlighted each individual university. But then they didn't have time to talk about every university and sorority, every fraternity and sorority. So it's like, come on, man. So they looked at the alphas, and they talked about the alphas, and then they showed all the prominent names. They showed the Qs, the AKAs, of course. They talked about them, and once
you start that, you gotta do all of them.
Right, you gotta do all of it, but they couldn't. They couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I would like much more of the education about where they came from. I would like to see that more. But somebody, I think Donald Donaldson said it in the chat room, they are probably trying to tell as many white people as possible. But I think telling them the history of where it came from would have been more powerful. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. When I hear that, first thing I'm thinking about is focus groups when it comes to young people. Like, really, we would like to hear that type of stuff. But young people that are thinking about going to college, to know that HBCU is 100 years old, that's pretty cool. Oh, they be stepping over here. Oh, they step. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
But
sometimes you make a deal with the devil, but sometimes that's what the kids want to know about. That was part of the HBCU experience that gets them to those schools. You know what I mean? But I think it's a balance of both.
But not the entire. It was way too much about the frats and sororities. Yes, definitely stepping and all that was exciting, but definitely about where the schools came from was more exciting for me. And I'm sure that these young black kids definitely can understand that, especially now when everybody calling the police on you when you show up with the wrong barbecue or the wrong charcoal at the park. You know what I'm saying? That understanding is like, okay, man, this is where I'm from. This was for me. Like, so it's like that empowering part. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's important, but man, I wish. And then a couple people in the chat room said, yeah, it is cheesy. That's the part. Hey, that's just the part I just wish it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? So as long as we doing stuff like this, I guess that helps the cause. You know what I'm saying? But it went all right. I don't know how you guys feel about Jay Walker. Y'all like Jay Walker?
Yeah, I mean.
Rashad, why you look like that? You talking about the dude from who's always doing the black college games on ESPN?
I ain't got no cable.
My bad. I mean, he's all right. He's also done before. He's done the top 5 like marching bands too. Like he'll tweet through the undefeated and he'll say, "Oh, my top 5 marching bands this week."
Oh, his sound is always wrong.
Right.
Way off.
So I mean, I guess he's all right, man. I just wish we had some more people because he's like the go-to dude, and he's starting to get old too, man. He played back in the '80s, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. The authenticity. I guess that's my complaint about it. All right, y'all. So I digress a little bit, but let's go to the last round of commercials, and we come back and talk about the 5th. Appreciate all y'all listening, and shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all mute your microphones. We'll be. Let me mute my microphone. Let me finish talking. We'll be right back after this.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high-quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t-shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event, but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1-800-975-3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions.
Give your brand a voice.
If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Peete of RE/MAX Patriots. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951-858-5942. That's 951-858-5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes@sbcglobal.net. That's KP, his initials, Kevin Peete, KP Sales Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
You want the best barbecue around? Smokee Os coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokee Os know what's good for you. You want the best barbecue around? Smokee Os coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokee Os know what's good for you. Smokee Os, come check us out.
Hey guys, it's comedian Ira Coleman, also known as Bam Bam, and you're listening to the Marching Podcast Radio Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, well, welcome back. Thanks again for listening. And real quick, I thought about something else. I was looking in the chat room for something else. You know, another thing they could have did, Rashad and Ernest, they could have said the illustrious alumni from each schools. Or if they wanted to encapsulate the entire HBCU experience, they could have talked about all the alumni. And they could have talked about all of the alumni in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
They didn't want to do that because they want all of us to go to Alabama and play for Nick Saban. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get mad. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about the fifth. All right. So, Rashad, I'll start with you this time, man. What did you think about the fifth between the sounds of Dynomite and the Blue and Gold marching machine?
Oh, boy. A little bit of a difference. But first of all, the sound of both bands was really getting absorbed. So it was very hard to hear what was going on. Like, for example, when you match up Southern against Alcorn State last week, those bands are really close to each other. So when Alcorn wasn't playing as precise, I could hear it. I could tell, oh, that's not that clean. In this stadium, I couldn't tell. I could not tell the difference between the two bands as far as their playing ability was concerned. I mean, one band might have been nailing all the articulations. The other band might have been just flopping all over the place or didn't know the music. I couldn't tell. You know, only thing I could tell was what I heard. So I'll start with Alcorn. They sounded pretty good. They just need some more trumpets, like so bad. Like the baritones stand out. Overall, they're always standing out. And I don't recall hearing that song that they played. But I'll say this and I'll say it again. They really need to start rearranging that music. I mean, what is the point of every song having one line that comes through? The baritones come through all the way across the field. You hear like, wow, baritones, y'all sound great. We can't hear nobody else. They need to split those parts up and allow the baritones to support those trumpets from time to time. A&T responded with applause. I think it was like a, whatever that girl's name is, mix. What's her name? You know the girl. Lady Gaga. It's a mix of her. What's she been doing lately? Yeah. She's sick, isn't she? Well, anyway.
She probably enjoying her money, man. She probably enjoying her money.
Yeah. So I guess she's an actor now. Nice rich baritone sound in the beginning. And then they got louder. But it was really hard to pick the parts. I couldn't. It was hard for me to tell what was happening there. I'm not the biggest fan of that particular arrangement. Like, I like the applause part. I like that. Every time it starts with that and ends with that. When it goes into the other song in the middle, I can't pick out what's happening nearly as much. I don't think the band likes that part as much. And when they get back to the applause, like, oh, we went to the part that we like. You know how it is when you're a band. Alcorn responded, so why don't you care for me when I care about you? Yeah, that was a great song choice. I loved it. It was very hard to hear the melody at the beginning, like very, very hard. But the quality of the sound was pretty good. And then the trombones took over the melody. I could hear that, but that sounded good. I just wish they crescendoed better. I really get sick of hearing this. Everything is really, really soft. And then the chorus comes in. Like, there needs to be a transition to get into that chorus. Our bands we don't seem to be doing that very well at all. Like, there needs to be layers to this type of stuff. A&T responded with, how can I ease the pain? The middle section of that song was really strong. And I feel like there was a lot going on in it, but I couldn't hear it. And it seemed kind of short. So herein is the difference between Alcorn and A&T. Alcorn seemed to be a bigger band, I think. And so I could hear some of the things that they were doing. So my mind was immediately gravitating towards Alcorn a little bit in the fifth. Because A&T may have been doing more difficult things. They may have been playing better. But for the most part, I really couldn't hear a lot of the things that they were doing. It just wasn't impacting me. So I'm really leaning towards Alcorn. Alcorn played another song. Same thing. Baritones was so loud. And then the mellophones ended on a crazy note. What the heck were y'all drinking? A&T responded with, what is the Ariana Grande song? No Tears Left to Cry. The trumpets are unheard. Every time the trumpets had the melody, I don't know what y'all doing. I can't hear y'all. And one little bit. So definitely somebody needs to be backing those trumpets up with both bands. Alcorn responded with what I call the loud song. When they all started, they just went, everybody in the whole band. I mean, snare drummers were like, the dancers were in there like, and then they said, all we're thinking about that is that if you're going to turn and face A&T, then that drum major in the front that was towards the side of the band, he should have moved. He should have moved to be in the stands with the crowd so that tuba line could see them. Because they really were right there on the edge. The tubas knew exactly when to cut off, but it really could have been bad because the tube was in the back with them facing A&T, and the whole band staff is over here. They couldn't see anything, so it really could have been bad. So it would have been good if they're going to do that. Put that drum major over here so they can make sure to know when to cut off. But I thought it sounded pretty decent, and A&T responded with, "Outside today, we ain't going outside today," But again, I was just hard to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and give the 5th to Alcorn State simply because I could hear them. The baritones, again, were very strong. They sounded rich. For what I could tell, they were playing well. I don't know if they were just a much better band than they were against Southern. I feel like they played a different repertoire than they did against Southern, much better repertoire. Or I don't know if just some of the sloppiness that I heard against Southern, I just couldn't hear it because I only heard, I couldn't hear the articulations. I could just hear the pitches. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Alcorn.
Yeah, I'm the same way with you. I think Alcorn, I think they were kind of waiting on this. Like, I felt like they had more confidence going into the 5th than their actual show. Because they knew that, like, hey, we from the SWAC, we going to sit over here and, crank. So I feel like they had some confidence going into it. They weren't. I did appreciate that there wasn't as many, like, tuba breaks. I mean, it was short. Like, it was short, but they played some songs, like, back and forth. There were a couple of tuba breaks, but I appreciate they were playing some songs. So I was happy to see that. But, again, I'm telling you, man, for as much pizzazz that A&T has on the field, they just do not have that in the stands, man. They are just not the same band to me in the stands. Like, sometimes they might be all right, but it's just like, oh, what are we going to expect from A&T tonight? Like, and last year, they were just flat out tired. Like, they were fatigued. I felt like they were tired, but this weekend, I felt fatigue was settling in a little bit, but it was not the same confidence in their sounds, man, or even in their songs. They do not come with it in the stands. I don't care what nobody say. They just don't. And they might a little bit here and there, depending on who they playing, but I just feel like that's probably one of their weaknesses, if you will. But yeah, I had gave it to Alcorn too. There wasn't anything that like jumped out at me. I did like that. I felt like the play calling was pretty good. And I did like that Girl I Care About You. I thought it was pretty good. It was kind of choppy, but I did like, Girl I Care About You, the little soul food song. And then A&T, How Can I Ease the Pain? This is where, to me, they could have, like, won the 5th. Like, How Can I Ease the Pain? This is, like, one of those standard crunk, powerful, slow songs where, like, they play it, you just like, oh, you just like, oh, you, and they didn't do it. It was just like, how can I? He sounded like a nice little concert band, real MEAC-ish, real concert bandish. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way because you guys play with so much control and everything. But I don't want to hear no control in the field. Blow my head off. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't do that. So, yeah, I got to agree with you. I gave it to Alcorn. What you think, Ernest, man?
I would say real quick, Joe, you're right on that particular song. That song is very passionate. How can I? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
there you go.
Yeah, like you're right. You gotta get it. Go after that one.
Yeah. So, all right, I gave it to Alcorn as well, but for different reasons. I honestly thought A&T had the better song selection. Where A&T lost me at is that they never led in the 5th. They followed. Alcorn controlled the 5th the whole time. And what I mean by that is the genre of music that they would choose, A&T will reply in a like manner, whatever Alcorn chose. So Alcorn chose a pop tune to start it off with. A&T, that's when they played the Lady Gaga tune. Alcorn went to the ballad. That's when A&T played How Can I Ease the Pain. Alcorn went to the rap tune. A&T played the same tune back. So they lost the 5th. A 5th quarter is a chess game, not checkers. You cannot reply to a band in the same way. Like you lose when you do that. Like if a band plays a hot tune like if they play the bomb ballad, right? I'm not going to immediately play a ballad back. That's me admitting that, yeah, that was hot.
That was tight. That was
you know
tight.
what I'm saying?
That was
Right.
That was tight. That was
No,
tight.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and play the crunkest rap tune that's on the radio that's hot. That's going to make everybody forget about that ballad. Then the next time, when it's my turn again, I'm going to play my dopest ballad. You know what I mean? That's how you play the fifth quarter game. You don't reply back and forth to a band, because then you're on the losing end the whole time. And that's what A&T was out this whole battle. They were on the losing end. They were just replying to whatever Alcorn was doing. Alcorn controlled. Alcorn could have been over there just having a good old time, not even paying no attention to A&T. And they just would have been over there replying to everything the Alcorn played. That's how it went.
Right.
So when you have that kind of control over the fifth, you automatically win. And they just controlled the fifth the whole time. They didn't have the better song selections. To me, How Can I Ease the Pain was a better choice than the Alcorn ballad. And some of the other choices A&T made were the better choice. But I can't give it to them because they were responding the way that they did. And they were just following instead of leading the fifth, taking control of it. So I agree with you guys on the volume piece and on the musicality. A&T trumpets have been weak all year long, for a couple of years, actually. And then they got so many of them. They got like 32 trumpets, and they only got 13 trombones. So, like, the trumpets should be killing. They have a small trombone section for the size of the band they have, and I don't understand why their trumpets don't shine through more than they do. But because their trumpets don't, I think that makes their tubas sound even louder, you know, when they play, because they are sitting on the notes. And just like Rashad said, they do have a lot of bottom this year. So those tubas sound even louder because the trumpets are not really carrying their part. So I think if those trumpets start playing, their sound will fill out. And when you want them to go at that ballad the way that we want them to go, How Can I Ease the Pain, they'll be able to do it. Like, imagine if BCU played that song. The soft sections would have been quieter, and the big sections would have been bigger. You know? Mm-hmm. And that's the punch that you would expect on that song. Even if Southern played it would have been a hell of a lot more emotional, you know?
Right. But BCU wouldn't have played it because they have 5 songs for the fifth quarter. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. You're right. Now they would have played a ballad in the fifth that would have been non-returnable. But it would have been the same ballad they played last year and the year before. But yeah, man, I gave it the fifth to Alcorn. So and I hate this stereotype, the SWAC stereotype, that we don't care about the field. All we do is prepare for the stand. But Alcorn lived up to the stereotype this weekend, man. They sucked on the field, and they came back through in the stands. You know, they saved them, they redeemed themselves, so to speak. You know, in the stands. And I'm from that era and band that, hey, I'm not even paying it. Like, I might leave early. I might leave the game early. You know, you don't know what might happen with me. You can't wait till the fifth to try to get somebody. You know, you got to do it at halftime. So, but they did redeem themselves. You know, I can't even deny that. A&T dropped the ball on that because they didn't take control. It's like they don't. You know what? They don't have that killer instinct of the A&T bands from the 90s. You know, those bands are like, they're trying to get at everybody, you know. And this A&T band don't have that mentality. They're kind of more chill, more relaxed than the old A&T. I think if they had that mentality in the stands with the tools that they have to work with now, with the arrangers and the instrumentation and the numbers, oh man,
yeah,
they'd be unstoppable.
They would be kind of like the Warriors, to be honest with you, because if they could put that pizzazz with all of that, because that's the thing. and you both were kind of leading on to it when you were describing it, Ernest. And I guess it is a little bit of a stereotype, but if Bethune-Cookman or like Fam played that, it would have been much more intense. But you would have kind of heard all the parts. It would have been like a symphonic type of, and I'm like, oh my God, that sounded so good. I'm like, oh, that was good. You know what I'm saying? But the SWAC, be like, oh my God, that's so loud. Like, oh my God. Like,
right.
Like, I can't even be in the stadium at the same time as these people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wish A&T had, cause I see that flash of brilliance when they doing their shows now. When they dipping down and then it going in the like, you know what I'm saying? They got it then. But in the stands, man, it just seemed like they just like, man, we tired, man. You know how much we practiced this week doing that? And then you want us to be off the chain in the stands too? Nah, you know what I'm saying? We got to go to class. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
hey, Ernest, man. So I had to argue with Joe about using the drum line during the show. So I got to argue with you here now. I can't get with that. I can't get with that philosophy as far as if you follow the other band, then you lose. I can't get with that, because here's the thing. For me, if I'm a band director and I'm gonna hit you with my very best slow song, like bam, I'm about to knock you out straight from the beginning. And then you come back with an even better slow song, I'm like, darn. All right, well, let me go ahead and hit you with my best fast song. And you come out and hit me with an even better fast song. Like, to me, that's good play call, like Joe always talks about. It's good, and also it makes it more enjoyable for the people that are watching. You know what I mean? On the other side of that, like I remember as a high school band director, like we were at after a band competition, and I'm straight used to old school fifth quarters. So I hit this band with some slow song that we had in our repertoire, and they played like Talking Outside Your Neck back. I'm like, really? Like, y'all suck. Because to me, what that said to me in my mind is that no, you can't play slow songs. You playing neck back at me when I played this slow song. You don't have no repertoire, so I'm about to just run you.
But it's like
now,
this.
I can't understand though, as you're going, that at some point you can flip it. At some point in the middle of it, you can say, okay, I'm not going to respond to that. Now, let me go ahead and do this. I can get that. But I wouldn't say that just because you're following a band that you automatically catch an L. I wouldn't say
that. I think that's my philosophy. Because if all you're doing is replying to everything that this band over here is doing, then they're the better band in the fifth to me. In other words, if I play an old school hip hop tune, Run DMC, you play Slick Rick and them the show. I play a Quincy Jones ballad. You play a Teddy P ballad. I play, you just responding to I'm controlling you. I rule you. I get to tell you what and when what you're gonna play. I'm showing you that I'm better. I'm showing what I'm saying is anything you can do, I can do better. But see, what happens a lot of times is whenever you're doing that, every song you play is not necessarily better. and when you do that and you're not better, you automatically lost that round. I mean, like, to me, you lost a round anyway because you responded in life, but you really lost when you respond and you suck. Like your arrangement is not as good, or you're not as strong, or the crowd is not into it. And then I hate when bands play the same song. Like in this battle, when they played a little hip hop tune, when Alcorn did, and A&T responded with the same tune right after that. Like, don't do that. Play another hip hop tune that's hotter, that's on the radio, that everybody listens to even more than that tune. Then, like, at the end of the fifth or something, like when they walking out, then come back and play that one that they played. You're like, yeah, we got that too. They'll respond with the same song. They get so bored. Like, the crowd hates that. And while you sitting there listening to the two bands go back and forth on the same music all night.
Right.
I kind of see both.
So on the, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I was gonna say I kind of see both things of what you're saying, because I could see someone starting something, but then the band on the other side saying, "Oh man, they playing our song, man, crank this up."
Right.
Like, you already feel like they gonna respond to that. But to me, if you play something back, like what Rashad, what you just said, if someone plays something back at you and they played it better, and you already feel like, whoa, that was better than what I played, I guarantee you that other band ain't going to respect you after that round, and they're going to start dictating the rest of the fifth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not literally going to play everything after what you did after they just poo-pooed you in certain rounds. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be like, "Well, the same thing they doing for. We play everything better than them anyway. Let us start with a tune." So I see what both you saying, but it's still it's play calling. You know what I'm saying?
It naturally happens.
It is.
Over time, if you're the better band, you're going to take control. But I don't think that you lose just because I heard it's like you said, if you play the slow song and I play a slow song back and it's not as good, that's an L. But what's worse than that, if you play a great slow song and I play a rap mix with a tuba break and it sucks, so that means I can't even respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even have the repertoire to respond to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and somebody in the chat room agreed with you, Rashad. I think Geronimo 287, he said the same thing, like where, you play something and then you play something back and it's better, then that has an effect. But to me, I see what Ernest is saying, because I think Southern did it in the Bayou Classic this year at the Battle of the Bands.
At the Bayou Classic, that's right. When Grambling played
they took an L, walking up in there talking about church. Let's have some church.
Right.
And Southern came back with the most secular song in their book.
That's right. That's right. They came back with the most
They should have came with yeah. Something super ignorant or some 95 South. That would have been dope. I was like, that's what you talking about. That's what you do. Nah, man. So yeah, I think it's times when it does happen, but I do see what Ernest's saying.
You gotta control the fifth, man. You gotta control it. You gotta be like, I don't care who's over there or what y'all playing. We're the better band. Take this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like, you pay attention to what they're playing because you want to respond to it later, but you don't get in the habit of responding to what they're doing, because then you're saying that they're the better band in the scenario. And whatever they do, we got to respond to.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And like Major Payne said, and like me, hit them with either Flight of the Bumblebee or hit them with a march. Hit them with something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's over.
A non-returnable. They're non-returnables out there.
You know what I'm saying?
In every genre.
Did they just play Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Damn, what are we gonna play?
You know what I'm saying? That's right.
Let's play some scales.
Right.
Let's play. and let's hold on to the notes for let's make it real intense. Now y'all follow my lead. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta do it.
I can just see, and you say that, I can see a band director somewhere doing that. Like, okay, y'all, here's what we gonna do. Right. Just follow my lead. Drums, here you go. Give me that beat I'll play sometimes.
Boy, that would be bad, boy. If that happened to your band, boy, I'm telling you, boy, that would be embarrassing. That would be bad. All right, y'all. So it looks like a good discussion tonight. We get to the close here. Rashad, I ask you, man, anything else that you wanted to say before we close out the show? Anything going on with Block Band, color commentary? Anything going out before we close the show tonight?
I just want to give a shout out to my man Unstoppable 25 that should say play some Smokee Os. I don't care if you responding or leading.
Yes.
With that.
Yes.
Yes. Da, 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 da. Woo! Da, 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 da. Woo! Woo!
Yes.
Take out Obama for the song of the year.
I was just gonna say that after the commercial break. I was like, man, Smokee Os is the dopest commercial on this joint, yo.
It's classic. It's classic. And for all y'all that know Thomas, so we hear word on street is Thomas is like off the chain, cutting stuff, and cutting letters in people's grasses and just all stuff. Right? So we heard that Thomas is off the chain. So I knew when he sent me, and I heard that song, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. This is gonna work with something here. So yeah,
that's dope. All year. That had me rolling during the break, bro. I was literally laughing.
I won't laugh, but I was like, Joe, you need to stop playing this commercial, bro, because I'm getting hungry, bro.
Smokee Os.
Whole half hour to go. No, but so color commentary turned 1 year old today. So we're very excited about that. We started. Thank you. We started right after The Last Jedi came out, and we saw the movie. It was like we started Last Jedi. I was like, we got to talk about this. Somebody need to hear us talk about this. There's a whole lot to say. So since then, we've done, The Last Jedi. We've done Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today we did. We talked about what is his name? Mortal Engines, that new movie that came out, as well as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible, Fallout. I mean, if it's a big movie and it was not Bohemian Rhapsody or A Star Is Born, we've done it. And I want to get them in. We'll be doing Aquaman pretty soon. We have a nice little get together and doing that. We got Aquaman, Deadpool 2 coming out.
Do y'all do shows?
Huh?
Do you do shows?
TV shows?
Yes.
Yeah, we did Titans.
I gotta check that out. We and my wife, we're in the Titans now, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah, check us out. Check. That's the main shows we just do. Oh, we did Jessica Jones. We did Luke Cage. We did Daredevil. Anything that's like comic book related when it comes to TV shows, we'll do that. So yeah, check us out, man. Color Commentary on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram, on Twitter, on Tumblr, whatever. If it's got some letters in the name, we try to put our stuff on it. So yeah, please watch us. And of course, Block Band, we continue to do our thing, man. Excited to keep giving to all the bands in the world spats, shoes, and gloves, and mouthpieces, and reeds, and drumsticks, and Christmas music, and everything that they need. So please check us out.
That's what's up. Ernest, what's going on with you, man, before we close out the podcast?
Man, a lot's going on, brother. I got a couple of articles coming out to end out the year. This is we started the blog a year ago at the Honda. The Honda was my first post.
That's right. I remember that.
A year ago. Yeah. So every Honda, every January we get, it's an anniversary for us. So I'm gonna do something big this year. Since there is no Honda, I'm gonna have to find something. And I think I found what I'm going to do. But I'm going to do something big on the site to kind of celebrate the anniversary. But we got some interesting articles coming out, man, and some interesting interviews as well. So keep an eye out for blockusup.com.
Yeah, last time we talked about one of the articles that came out. It was the one about is the fifth quarter, replacing halftime in some respects. But also the last one you came out with is a good announcer. And that was really good read, too, because you went through and put a couple of the pictures of some of, the old school, important folks. That was, because your announcer is important. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people don't realize how long these guys have been doing this stuff, man. Like, some of these announcers have been 35, 40 years, man, at these programs. Longer than the band directors themselves have been there, Right. So, like, just like I didn't even know Horatio was at BCU as long as he's been there. He's been there since 75.
Wow.
So yeah. Yes.
Wow.
He started announcing in 75 for BCU. So like you would not believe it, man. And then Dr. Jimmy James, God bless the dead, for Jackson State.
Yep, dog.
He was there.
What's up, dog?
Yes.
What's up, dog?
I think he's been there the longest out of anybody. Even Joe Bullard, who's still at FAMU, was there since 74. So he started as a junior at FAMU, being the announcer.
Wow.
So this stuff is crazy. How long these announcers have been at these programs, man. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in '77.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. Yeah, like I said, it was a really good read. But yeah, you guys check us out. Check out blockusup.com and check out Block Band Music and Publishing, and find really cool thing about what Rashad does. They have those different philosophies about regional styles. So I'm sure if you band directors or anything getting into that, he'll discuss that with you as well. But yeah, a lot of information coming out the Marching Podcast. Just again, hit the subscribe and like us, and we'll support, and we'll put out all the shows about the craft, and we'll continue to educate folks about what we do here. And again, last time before we close out, shout out to the chat room. Shout out to the chat room. Always enjoy seeing you guys in there. And yeah, somebody talked about Dr. James being an announcer. He had the spiel. His brother actually came out here, who's another member of the fraternity. He came out here, and he's been selling a book for Dr. Jimmy James and his legacy. And one of the excerpts in the introduction is the phrase that he used to say when the boom hit the field. Fine-tune your slippery apparatus for the spectacle that awaits you now. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, that's really cool. And I thought my mic went out for a second. All right, but yeah, that's for the most part the show, and we appreciate you guys listening. Is there something on my mic? All right, there it is. All right, so yeah, my mic went out for a little second there. All right, y'all. So we appreciate you guys listening. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact us so we can give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your information down there at the ticker down at the bottom, and you'll hear the commercials, just like Smokee Os Barbecue. Y'all hear us on the Marching Podcast. So you guys have a good week. We won't be on next week because it's the holiday, but you guys have a Merry Christmas. And then the following week is New Year's. So be safe and don't be wilding out. Like, it's not fun to do stuff till you black out. That's not the bomb. I'm trying to get people, get rid of the blackoutness. Yeah, let's not do that no more. All right. But be safe wherever you are. And then we will holler at y'all back on January 7th. To kind of recap the year and then proceed with the off season with all the interviews and stuff. And then next thing you know, man, it'll be August again. And we'll be talking about these bands again, man. So again, shout out to you two. Appreciate you two. I'm thankful for you two. Thankful for Bridget. Thankful for Christy. Thankful for all the folks that's be on the show. And like I say, I appreciate you guys, using your time for the craft. All right. We've come to the end of our show. Please contact the show, marchpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson in observing what you do. See you next time.
And that's it for the 90 Degree Show for this week. Tune in next week with Joe Beard, where the marching band battles continue.